I woke up Wednesday morning to a chilly, rainy day. So I decided to make this a baking and crafting day. It has been a long-standing tradition in my family to make zucchini bread every summer. Now, to be quite honest, that's typically because we have more zucchini than we know what to do with. Now, because I have just a small kitchen garden here in New England, I do not plant zucchini, but also I have so many choices of little farm stands around me, so I'm able to just pick up one or a few if I choose to freeze some. Or in this case, I choose to use it for baking, and it works out perfect for me. I pulled out my Vermont Farm Table Cookbook and was delighted to see that there was a recipe for zucchini bread in there. And that is the recipe that I used. I did make some changes, you know me. I did choose to use my beloved einkorn flour. I just love it. Everything always turns out great for me. I just substitute one for one, and my gluten sensitive daughter is able to enjoy it also. I did substitute the oil also, and I replaced it with I had some coconut oil, and I also melted some butter. So those are the main changes that I made to the recipe. I will include a picture of the recipe at the end here. But it's just your basic zucchini bread recipe. There's so many out there. I will say this one turned out very moist. I forgot to add that I did add a touch of cardamom to the spices. And I do have to say, an added benefit was while this bread was baking, it filled my kitchen with such a warm fall scent, and that was perfect for this rainy day. As a reward on this chilly fall-like day, I decided to brew myself a pot of tea, cut myself a piece of this wonderful smelling zucchini bread, and sit down and craft for the afternoon. It's very relaxing for me, and I couldn't wait to get started. also wanted to test the burn on my newest beeswax candles that I make for my online store. This adorable little pumpkin mold was new for me, so I just wanted to test them. I've been having so much fun making them, and I haven't burned one yet. So I thought this would be a perfect time. It can burn right in front of me while I work on my little craft project. I will say I'm very pleased with how they burn. Okay, candles are lit. I have my pot of tea and my slice of fresh baked zucchini bread. Let's start crafting. Here are my two little inspiration pieces. I had purchased these in a shop recently and I brought them home and I thought, I can make these. So I went shopping and I purchased some styrofoam pumpkins and some pool noodles. Yes, you heard me right, pool noodles. So let me show you my interpretation and what I came up with. I did not follow any tutorials or anything. I just kind of did it my way. I had all of the fabrics here in my stash. I did have to, like I said, purchase the pumpkins. Other than that, it was all items that I had here in my home. So let me show you what I came up with. I began by cutting the top off and the bottom off, just creating a little hole because I wanted to be able to glue some yarn that I was going to be using. I wanted to make somewhat of a neutral looking pumpkin, and I had some yarns. So I'm just going to be using my hot glue gun and gluing those strips. I did take 5 to 6 pieces of yarn and just kind of twisted them. And then I adhered them, like I said, by using a glue gun. I glued in the top and then in the bottom. Okay, the first piece is in. Now, I would recommend if you're going to try this at home to, as you can see, I started in one of the little grooves of the pumpkin. I would go around and go into every groove first. So do that first and then just fill in. I think that would work the best. And this is what it looks like after I have decorated it, along with another little green one that I made. And this one was the very first one I made. I actually gave it to my oldest daughter. She has more of a neutral decor in her home, and she loved it. Now this one is the same kind of pumpkin. I cut the holes just like I did before, only I covered it in fabric. And I apologize, I was recording it, but my battery died. So I didn't get it on film. However, I will tell you, there are plenty of tutorials out there, I'm sure, on how to do it. But I just tucked and then kind of pleated as I went around. So just tuck and pleat, tuck within the grooves of that pumpkin. Now here I decided to take the stem that came with the pumpkin and just try to antique it a little with my rub and buff. And as you can see, I put out the 4 different colors that I have on a plate and just kind of played with them, mixed and matched a little until I got the look that I wanted. It was just a bit of a bright gold, and I did not want that for this pumpkin. Now once again, using my hot glue gun, I adhered the stem to the pumpkin and just kind of held it there for a few minutes to let it truly adhere. And then I went on to decorate, just using different mosses and grasses that I had on hand already. I used to decorate the pumpkins some tiny little pine cones that I had gathered through the years just from the area here, and I just kind of played with it. Here I'm showing the two mosses. I couldn't quite decide what I wanted. Finally, I said, you know what, I want more of the rust color with this green. So that's what I did. And this is the fun part. This is where you really can be creative and decorating using, like I said, what you have on hand. I'm sure many of us have a little craft stash. And just pull it out and use what you have, a combination of real and faux items. If you choose to use a lighter fabric or more sheer fabric, I highly recommend that you spray paint the pumpkin first. Otherwise, that orange will show through. Okay, now on to the pool noodle. I don't remember where I originally saw this. I believe it may have been Instagram. Either way, I just decided to pick up this pool noodle. I believe I paid $1.50 for it. It was the larger size, and what do I have to lose, right? Now, the only thing I did different than I was seeing online is I decided to take some of my fiber fill and just glue that to the outside of the pool noodle because I wanted my pumpkin to have a little more substance, to be a little chunkier. So that is how I decided to do it. after I felt that was somewhat adhered, I took my fabric and I just started to tuck and pleat, tuck and pleat. You do have to take some time and effort into the tucking because it is a bit of fabric to get into that little stem piece or that hole. So just be patient and just work with it. It does come out very nice. I then took some yarn and went around and made, I believe I did 6 different sections. And then, of course, the fun part starts of the decorating, just being creative. And here I decided to use 2 different colors of the moss for the top. It just made it a little fun because it was a neutral pumpkin. I thought it would be fun to add just a little hint of color. I finished it off with a houndstooth ribbon. I just cut some fabric and frayed that. Put the stem on that I had from another pumpkin. Again, I kind of antiqued it. And then I just added one of my little baby pine cones, and that was it. This is the finished product. Who would have ever thought you could make a pumpkin from a pool noodle? It was fun, and you can be so creative with these. And here they are. Here are the 6 that I made that afternoon. I am adding them to my online shop, so if you're not interested in making your own, I invite you to go ahead and pay a visit to my store. I truly appreciate it. I've also added my little beeswax pumpkin candles, along with other fall and Halloween items. Thank you again, friends, for watching and joining me today. I truly appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.